Yo, think you're tough? Not as tough as Channel 4 News. Uh-huh.
And welcome back to the news on Channel 4. Now, you may have noticed the change in appearance of our show, that now we appear to be filming in a subterranean dungeon. While we haven't been kidnapped, what has occurred is we have had a series of budget cuts, which have resulted in us having to sell the lights, the last of which just turned off, to be able to purchase valuable information regarding the changes that have occurred because of World War II. Now, we hope that viewers are able to abide by these changes, and that they don't simply get bored and switch to stupid shows like Gossip Girl or New Girl or any other of those shows that will just melt your brain cells straight through your face. Thank you very much, and we hope that you enjoy the news on Channel 4. The political landscape experienced many drastic changes due to World War II. The main general change that occurred was that the American government began to involve itself much more in the people's affairs, socially and economically. A good example of this is that Social Security was introduced to the American people. Before this time, the government had done very little to aid people, except for some programs during the Great Depression, which had been introduced as an emergency means to help people earn more money. However, after the war, the government realized the benefits of increased involvement in citizens' lives, and because of this, chose to continue carrying out these policies. Additionally, collective security and military preparedness policy began to become more prevalent in American lives. These became the keystones of post-war diplomacy in the American political front, as Americans became increasingly nervous about Russian invasion. Furthermore, America was more willing to intervene in foreign affairs than they previously had been. This would go on to be shown in such places as Korea and Vietnam.
And here's the news on today's American economy. Climb in the employment rates, the economy was flourishing. It was a great time to be an American citizen. Steady jobs during the unemployment during the Depression averaged 15 to 20%, which meant more money in the bank, which led to financial security. Between the years of 1939 and 1945, the per capita income doubled, raising about $1,231 to about $2,390, which is awesome. America was poised to rebound from the war with the greatest economic boom in history, showing that this was basically an awesome time to be a businessman, an entrepreneur, or anyone in the workforce. On Veterans Day, President Truman signed an executive order that terminated Lend-Lease shipments to America's allies, and President Truman also placed an embargo on all shipments to Russia and other European countries. Back to you.
In regards to the Allied forces in Europe, Britain had some significant changes in their social status. Women in the war took on very big roles in the workforce while the men were at war. Looking at Russia and the Soviet Union, there were some political changes, such as after the war in 1945, Russia was the only power in East Europe that decided to resume free elections. In an economic sense, Russia was also significantly changed. The government focused on economy entirely, on the production of weapons and other military materials. In result of the embargo from the United States, Stalin had asked for $6 billion in loans because of the economic state. The United States had said that they would give them the money if they accepted American efforts to work cooperatively. In result of the decline, Stalin decided to make a new 5-year plan to rebuild heavy industry and ensure jobs and economic independence. Many jobs and efforts were created to improve the state of the Soviet Union. And that, my ladies and gentlemen, friends, boys, and girls, was today's news. Exciting, as if a fresh breath of air protruding my lungs on a brisk spring morning. I will see you tomorrow. The news.
the weather, and the excitement. That was bad. It didn't even see it in the...
Yeah, exactly.
It's alright, because, there's a lesson to learn from this. Make sure your prop man, Brian, can blow a pencil straight into your direction, alright? We'll do it live. We'll do it live.